Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or it's 2 a.m., go to bed already. This is Eagle Eyes on Tech. I am Eagle Falcon. To all of you podcast listeners out there, I apologize so very strongly that last week we were unable to put out something. We did record an episode live, but something malfunctioned with the recording software and it didn't record. And all of my attempts to try and pull it down from Twitch completely failed. So, honestly, last week, as far as tech goes, there wasn't too much to talk about. This week, on the other hand, oh my god, there is so much. I don't think we're all gonna get it all in 1 hour. But we are sure as heck gonna try. Let's talk about the one that actually was so big it actually leaked into mainstream news. And that's the self-driving Tesla that was involved in a fatal crash. So let's just go over the actual story before I inject my wisdom, knowledge, and opinion into this. So, last Thursday, I believe it was Thursday afternoon or evening, there was a Tesla Model S with the autopilot feature that was approaching an intersection. The Tesla was driving on autopilot. That is a mode that is autonomous-like, but not fully autonomous. What it does is that it uses lane checking features. It looks for the lane separating lines and makes sure you stay in it. It uses sensors around it to keep track of where every car is around it. It basically is as self-driving as you can get at this time. The only thing it really can't do is you can't just put a destination in and the car will just take itself there. It's not that capable yet. But it's as close to autonomous as you can get. What happened was that the driver was watching, I believe the article said, one of the Harry Potter films. And when approaching an intersection, there was a semi-truck, a tractor-trailer, with a white trailer crossing the intersection. The Model S was unable to detect the white trailer against the bright skyline. So the Model S just rammed itself right through the truck. Now, the Model S is low, so it basically got a haircut. The unfortunate thing is that it didn't slow down at all. Because the base of the tractor is 4 feet up, it basically cut the guy off about right here and killed him. So it was a fatal crash. It is, in fact, the first fatal crash involving a self-driving car in which the car was at fault. And now everyone is speculating what this means for self-driving cars in the future. Everyone said that we're all going to have self-driving cars by 2020. I have speculated in the past that it could even be sooner than that with how quickly it's moving. And the impending lawsuits are going to determine a lot as far as when a self-driving car gets into an accident, who's at fault. And everyone is speculating that this is going to be a big case down the road. So what do I think? This is nowhere near as big a deal as everyone is making it out to be. For starters, the future is not Model S Autopilot. Model S Autopilot is currently taking a whole lot of safety features that exist in cars today. Like, just about any car, no matter who the manufacturer is, has what's called BLIS, blind spot indication, where it senses for cars on either side of you. A lot of cars have lane tracking. A lot of cars have the ability to stop you if you veer lanes without making a turn signal. The Model S Autopilot just takes all of these, puts them into one shell, and just say, yeah, it basically autopilot. It's not a true autonomous vehicle. And that's why in the end, even if Tesla has to pay out for this lawsuit, it's not going to harm autonomous vehicles down the road. Now, Tesla Autopilot also says several times when enabling these various features, it's not just one switch you flip. It's enabling every single feature to equal autopilot. It says every time that you must, as the driver, still pay attention. The bottom line is the guy didn't pay attention. He didn't apply the brake at all. That's not even negotiable. That is fact. The car detected that the brake was never applied. Autopilot didn't see the truck. The human never saw the truck because he was watching Harry Potter. And as cold and heartless as it sounds, it's the dead guy's fault. It really is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think this will be a slight delay because there's going to be some hesitation. And it's going to be interesting to see how... Let's put it this way. The impending lawsuit that's going to be coming, because I guarantee you there's going to be a lawsuit coming, and when it's announced, it's not even going to be... It's going to be, like, mentioned as, like, a quick top-of-the-hour news bite that lasts an entire sentence. It's not going to surprise anyone. When that lawsuit finally does come down, if Tesla loses, that's going to be a big deal. The fact that you need to be fully autonomous, and you better have it correct, perfect, in every way, shape, and form. However, it seems more likely to me that when the lawsuit does come down, it's going to be found that it's the driver's fault. And it's because it's not fully autonomous. That's going to be something that's going to be very interesting down the road. And as the chat has pointed out, what the car insurance companies do for this as well will be interesting down the road. I don't think in this case the car insurance is going to make too big a deal. I am actually curious. The other thing is that I don't know how much damage the speeding Tesla did to the actual truck trailer. I'm not sure if the truck trailer came out completely unscathed because the Model S is built to be as lightweight as possible, and it was just like paper cup against brick wall sort of scenario, or what. If there was damage to the truck, then definitely the trucking company is going to sue Tesla. There'd be another one. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is big news. It is nowhere near as big as other people are going to say. And of course, Tesla has in fact put out a letter addressing the situation. And should I even read the letter? I don't think it really matters in the end. If you want to read the letter, go ahead. I'll make sure there's a link with it with all copies of this podcast. In fact, actually, I should just pull this tab over here. There we go. Like so. Let's move on to something more interesting. So Windows 10 is, of course, big in the tech world. It's the first time in quite some time that Windows was actually exciting. And I gotta say, after having all of my computers go to Windows 10, it is really starting to grow on me, and I highly recommend, if you haven't upgraded to it yet, at the very least, give it an upgrade and try the heck out of it for the first few days. There is a button within the control panel where just one click and it'll start downgrading you back to Windows 7 or 8 or whatever you were on. If you're on Windows 8, there's no excuse. Go to Windows 10 and be happy forever. If you're on Windows 7, then you do have an excuse, because there's quite a few changes and it is a bit of a different world. Now, keep in mind, the Windows 10 upgrade stops being free at the end of the month, which makes the timing of this big anniversary update kinda, So August 2nd, the big Windows 10 anniversary update's coming. And there's all sorts of very interesting features coming through. There's going to be more security features, including the ability to unlock the computer with my face, or your face. Not just my face, with your face as well. Any face that you want to be able to have it unlock with. There's going to be more advanced features to Cortana. What else we got here? Windows Ink brings the power of the Windows to the tip of your pen. So for my big desktop rig right here, it's going to do nothing. So you can actually write out sticky notes on a touch screen. Cortana, that's right. Cortana is able to be used at the lock screen. So without even waking up your computer, you can use various Cortana features. That's both. That could be very interesting how they implement it, because that could be a very big physical access breach. If you can use Cortana to get specific information within the computer while it's password protected. I'm very curious to see how Microsoft implements that. There could be some big loopholes through that. And of course, they're touting how Edge will help increase power efficiency. Now, if this comes out if this is actually part of the update, then the article I talked about last week about how Edge claims that Edge claimed that it could get 8 hours of battery life on a machine that usually gets 4, maximizing. Well, it just said that it maximized battery life by using it. It didn't claim it's gonna get you a lot more battery life than the machine actually gets. Its biggest claim was that it lasts 3 hours longer than using Google Chrome. And then Opera got offended because they're like, now wait a minute here. And then they did a live test. If that whole test they showed off was part of the Windows 10 update, that all starts to make sense. So if you don't know, I should probably just go through the entire thing. So last week, Microsoft Edge claimed that they could squeeze about 7 hours of battery life, where all their other competitors could only squeeze about 4 hours, or in the case of Opera with power saving enabled, 6 hours. Okay, and they tested this on a Microsoft Surface Book. Opera then counterpointed and said, we think you're full of crap. And then tested this on a Yoga 15 from Lenovo. And then in their real life test, and they recorded the whole thing, they showed that Opera was getting 4.5 hours out of that, and Edge was getting 4. And at the time I said I believe Opera more than Microsoft, because the 4 hours of constantly playing a video seem more realistic than 6 and 7 hours on a tablet of constant usage. Well, now that Microsoft is coming clean and saying, look, that whole Edge thing that we said about, that's coming out in the anniversary update, now this all makes sense. They didn't make that clear before. And that's why Opera came out going, wait a minute, clowns here. No, you're lying. Alright, then the Xbox Connected feature is coming out in the next version of Windows 10. And blah, 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 blah. New innovations with Modern Classroom. Okay, that's just more about hardware. So that's that. That's going to be the anniversary edition. Sounds interesting. I mean, it's a free update, so I'm not going to complain. If you're watching the video version and you see the price tag $179 and start panicking, that's for classroom devices. That has nothing to do with the actual update. Alright, so once again, I want to restate. If you're still on an older version of Windows, definitely try the update to Windows 10. You've only got about, I don't know, 3-4 weeks until the update is no longer free. And then I think in like 2-3 years, updates to Windows 7 stops. If you're on Windows 8 right now, definitely go right now and go update to Windows 10. If you're on Windows 7, give it a try. And if you don't like it, there is an easy one push button in your control panel that says downgrade back to Windows 7. Alright. We got all that. Good. Now, let's talk about the bad side of this Windows 10 update debacle. So, if you are the tech support for your family, which I am, by the way, you have gotten questions about Windows 10. Is it good? Is it bad? And if you've been like me, you've just been kind of, well, let me give it a shot first. I mean, I like it. I don't know if you will, or some sort of mealy-mouthed answer like that. And I don't blame you for that. I don't blame you for being mealy-mouthed at all. And then you noticed, like, I don't know, 2 months ago, all of a sudden everyone going, what the heck, my computer upgraded all by itself. And then you might have even experienced this too and unsure why. We have the answers now. So, this is from Ars Technica. I originally found it at CNET. And actually, even before that, this actually leaked onto mainstream radio news, at least here in the local area first. And honestly, I was a little bit skeptical when I first heard this on mainstream local radio. And then went to go do further research to make sure that they were right, because they're not exactly the most tech savvy out there. It came off to me as just like they heard something and just rolled with it without fact checking. But one version of the pop-up upgrade said that if you clicked the red X to X out of the update, it would consider that confirmation to start installing the update. What the heck? It's just seriously, what in the flying heck were you thinking, Microsoft? So, at the time, I regret not being able to figure this out. Usually I'm pretty good at figuring this sort of stuff out on my own without someone else telling me. I just figured that, okay, the update's now being set at recommended. That's not what's going on. And you would think this sort of thing would result in lawsuits. Well, you are correct. It did. And I am kicking myself for not figuring this out. Because my family could have had this. Because my grandma was the victim of this. So yeah, California woman sues Microsoft for this blatant, underlying, blatant trickery. Like, the local radio station said that this comes off kind of as trickery. No, this is trickery. This is cold. This is terrible, terrible practice. And I am shocked that it was only $10,000 that they got sued for. It might have just been because the woman just sued for only that much, and Microsoft just went, okay, fine, here you go. And then Microsoft went, okay, we should not be jerks. So, in any case, Microsoft has now toned down their pushiness. They have, in fact, now, on these upgrades, offered the buttons of schedule the update, hold off till later, or pass on this update. Supposedly, if you hit pass, you will no longer see the update. I cannot confirm this. I no longer have a machine running Windows 7. Nor do I want to go downgrade any of my machines running Windows 7. That's just, yeah. You're not going to be able to get me to do that right now, because screw that. So now, speaking of bad practices, this one actually isn't, but the aftermath of this did. So for those who don't know, how things work on the iPhone is that anything developers do to collect money, whether it be through in-app purchases, subscriptions, or the actual purchasing of the apps, it is a 70-30 split. The developer gets 70, Apple gets 30. A lot of developers don't like this because, 30% when Apple's doing nothing but, letting a server run idle over in a corner somewhere is kinda high considering the volume that Apple does. Like, really, really high. I mean, it sounds nice, but it really isn't. So, Spotify was encouraging people to pay their subscriptions outside of their apps. It's very messy to do, but it's a practice that's becoming more and more common on the Apple devices. So, yeah, Apple didn't like that. So Apple went ahead and just flat out pulled Spotify off the App Store. Just yanked it straight out. Yeah, that's, yeah. So at this point, I'm pretty sure that Spotify is not on the Apple App Store. And Apple is saying, first off, they're trying to get around Apple's rules by trying to bypass the 70-30 split. And they're also trying to say that Spotify is now a redundant app, seeing how Apple Music is part of the iPhone. Apple Music is part of iOS. It's a core app. This is an excuse that's done on, like, okay, we made a flashlight app that has a grand total of 100 downloads, and then Apple adds a flashlight functionality already into iOS. But Apple streaming has roughly 1/3 of the customers that Apple Music does. Or Apple Music has 1/3 of what Spotify has. I'm sorry. So this comes off as Apple just trying to pull out a competitor that is just doing better than them. And that's kind of bad. Alright, my chat is confirming that Spotify is back in the Apple App Store. So Apple probably didn't like the backlash of people going, wait a minute, Apple, you're kind of just getting rid of your direct competition there, and it's kind of a dick move, brah. Now then, let's talk about something that I'm looking forward to. So Verizon is adding they're adding 3 new things to their plans, 2 of which I care about. One of them is carryover data. Any data that you don't use carries over to the next month. This has been wanted by everyone for everything forever. And then they're also adding what's called safety mode. Safety mode is something that T-Mobile has been enjoying for a very long time. Although, for T-Mobile, it's just called... Oh, does T-Mobile even have a branding word for it? I think it's just, like, hidden in the unlimited thing. But in any case, Verizon is finally deciding to stop being Verizon and actually being more like the competition, because the competition is kicking Verizon's butt. What safety mode is that, let's say you're in my boat right now. And where's my phone so I can confirm this? Let's say you're in my boat right now. And before I show what my current usage is, I want to make sure that my bill or any other personal information is not being shown. Like my phone number, for instance. Yeah, my phone number is being shown, so I'm gonna kind of just cover that. In addition to my name, let's not show that. But as you can see, like right there, if the camera focuses at all, which it's not going to, if you can see into this white screen, yeah, okay, fuck that. Fair. I'll just read it off. Like right now, my plan resets on the 8th, and I'm at 96% of my usage right now. What this will do is that if once I exceed that though, I am then charged a very high amount per bit of data I use. Safety mode just lets you continue using your data just at, from what Verizon's explained, about like 40% of your normal speed, which, you know, considering the fact all I do is just listen to the radio on the go, perfectly fine for me. and that would just cost an additional $5 per month. The carryover data, that is free and included with any data size per package. To which I say, fantastic. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get the facts right. It is included with XL and XXL, which I think I'm on XL? It's not going to tell me. But for small, medium, and large, it's $5 per month. In any case, I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, we need to talk about AMD. Did they pass? Did they fail? And all of the Twitch news that came out. We'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. Eagle Eyes on Tech. I'm Eagle Falcon. At the halfway point here. So, let's move on to this little... This is only in the lineup because, oh my god. Who is this stupid? So we have here a Florida man sues Apple for $10 billion because he claims he invented the iPhone in 1992. I'm going to let the diagram speak for itself here. This is his original invention, which he calls the illegible scribble because, oh my god, all of the smudge on this thing. Yeah, that's illegible. Which looks like a big 3.5-inch screen with what appears to be a 3-row keyboard that has 5 columns, so not the full keyboard, obviously, with 2 physical buttons. And next to that we have the iPhone. You know what's amazing to me? That this is news! Who woke up in the morning? What judge, what lawyer, what anything? Let this case even get through the front door? Was this guy wearing a tinfoil hat? How many holes was in his denim jacket as he came through? How long was his beard? This seems like the claim of a homeless person. Normally, these sort of things, if there was any sort of hint or smell of legitimacy to it, Apple would very quickly settle, say, here's a couple grand, now go away and never talk to us ever again. I guarantee you this is going to court, because not even Apple is willing to give a guy this insane a penny. I mean, let's be honest, the only reason it's news is because this is so outrageous, and with everything else that's happened in the news today, or not today, just this past week, we certainly could use some lighthearted nonsense, and this is the lighthearted nonsense we needed. Let's go on to something equally as insane. Alright, so if you know about the Amazon fire, or the Amazon Kindle, you know there is a version that has what's called special offers. That on the lock screen there's an ad. And you get these devices at a decent discount, and you have to watch an ad every time you want to use your device. And by watch an ad, I mean like it's a still picture and you see it for a minute and then just close it out. Personally, I hate this idea. I have found myself shockingly in the minority on this. And I have no idea why I am in the minority on this opinion. I would love to find out that I was wrong this whole time and that I'm in the majority on this opinion. That devices with special offer ads on the lock screens is the most abysmally terrible idea ever conceived by man. And it's guaranteed if you get this, you have no soul. So I am even more saddened to find out that Amazon is offering these special offers on other Android devices. So you can in fact go and get certain Android phones pre-installed with special offer system apps that will display an ad on your lock screen. For those of you out there who agree with me that an ad on your personal device as part of the core system filing of it is an abysmally terrible idea, for all of you who looked at Windows 10 and found out that it does the same thing, showing you recommendations on your start bar for what to get in the store, and then went and immediately disabled that, please spread the word out there and tell people to say no to this garbage. Please. Together we can kill this nonsense, and this nonsense needs to die in a fire. And thank God that there's no way, at least I hope, that there's no way that Apple would let this happen to their own devices. And I certainly hope that the flagship phones, the Samsung Galaxies of the world, that are the high-end phones, also say no to this regardless of their operating system. That being said, Google wants to build a phone. Alright, so now that I'm done ranting about frickin' ads on frickin' phones and frickin' tablets and frickin' computers where they don't frickin' belong, there is news out there that Google is planning on building an iPhone-like device. That they would be the manufacturer, they would build the operating system, and that they would control everything about this. This isn't this isn't Google turning to HTC or LG or Asus or whoever to build a phone for them. This rumor, which I like to stress, this is a rumor with no confirmation yet as of, when did I get this? 7 a.m. this morning? As of 7 a.m. this morning, there is no confirmation that this is happening. This is rumor. I want to stress that enough. That Google wants to 100% design the software and hardware of an Android phone. Everyone is looking at this like this. If you're listening to the audio version and can't see my quizzical look, it is a quizzical look. Because nobody has any idea why. you've already got Android makers who make beautiful, fantastic phones that rival the iPhone. And with more and more rumors coming out that the iPhone 7 is going to be a big letdown, it looks even stronger for Android. So it's puzzling as to why Google would do this. Now, everyone is poo-pooing this idea. They don't like the idea at all. I'll be open-minded. I'm open-minded about things. I'm not going to take a dump on this idea right off the bat. I want to know details. I want to know what the specs of this phone are, what its capability, what makes the fact that it's a Google phone unique. After that, I'll say yay or nay. At this point, all we know is that Google is considering building a phone. And we don't even know that. We have rumors that Google is considering building a phone. What we do have confirmation of is that Apple is putting out a patent for technology that would shut down on the software level the ability for iPhones to record at concerts. Now, before you iPhone users get angry at Apple, I want to stress the fact that this information comes from a patent. And Apple is notorious for filing patents for outrageous ideas and then never using them. So, I want to be clear on that. There is a decent chance that this will never happen. Now, what this says is that it would use technology of some sort, whether it be a device on the stage or using GPS location, cross-sectioning with information of where concerts are being held, to block the ability to use the video recorder or to use video streaming apps, so that you cannot record the concert. I have mixed feelings about the opinion about this, because there's nothing more obnoxious than seeing a crowd of idiots doing this when you're supposed to be just enjoying the concert. You paid tickets to be there, to enjoy the personal experience. If you're going to ruin it by just holding up one hand to hold your phone up like this, record the whole blasted thing, then why'd you even bother? You're pretty much just as bad as you're being bad as all the pirates out there. Now, that's one half of me. The other half of me goes, it's a great moment. You paid good money to be there. And you want to be able to record it so that you have the memory with you forever. And that's where I sit. I am completely torn on this idea. Now, I'm going to lean more towards the idea of against this if they use GPS technology, because I could, in fact, be over and just, recording a silly video with some friends at a mall that's near a concert venue, and then just find out, oh, the software picked up that I'm close to this concert, so no recording for you. That would be infuriating, and I'd want to smash my phone against the concrete right then and there. My chat is informing me that 7-Eleven now sells cheesecake. As someone who eats out of truck stops, I am terrified by this concept. Let's move on to this. This broke early in the week, and I have been doing as much research as I could about this from the get-go. Our current audience says that the 7-Eleven cheesecake is not that bad. Whatever floats your boat. I still would definitely recommend strongly against trying out gas station sushi. So, back to the matter at hand. So, Twitch announced cheering. What is cheering? Well, I'll let them explain. And hopefully it has no copyrighted music in it.
Introducing cheering. Cheering is a new way to celebrate with your friends in chat, hype your favorite moments, and show support for your favorite broadcasters. Thank you for the support, guys. A cheer is a chat message that's decked out with flashy emotes called bits that you can buy. To cheer, just type cheer and the number of bits you want to use. The more bits, the bigger and flashier the emote. Cheer to revel in a victory, brighten someone's day, or show some support. Cheering shows your support for the partner just like subscriptions do, and you earn chat badges for cheering. For streamers, cheering includes all the benefits of chat moderation and support for developers to create awesome new tools with the feature. But most importantly, cheering lets you celebrate, spread good cheer, and show your support in chat in a whole new way. For more on cheering, check out the Twitch blog.
These are the dumbest emotes I have ever seen in my entire life, and I have seen quite a few emotes. Oh my god. What in the heck were you thinking, Twitch? They are literally just bouncing polygons from way back in the N60, not even the N64 era. This seems like polygons that would exist only on the SNES or the Sega anything. The block monsters in Final Fantasy VII were, oh god, let's stick to the facts first. I try so hard to get the facts out first. So, there is not a lot of positive comments for these bits. Here's basically what they are. For every bit there is, each bit costs 1 cent. Alright, so it's a direct 1 to 1. 1 penny is 1 bit. Alright? Cheering puts a flashy little polygon shape that's a moving GIF into the chat. It currently goes in increments of 1 for a boring little gray triangle, 100 for a moving purple diamond, 1,000 for, I'm not even sure what that shape is, but it looks close to a D8. 500 for the only thing that looks decent in the entire thing, which I'm not sure what shape that is. And 10,000 for the orange one. By using a cheer based on the highest one you've used in that chat, you get a badge for that chat, for that streamer. Currently, right now, only select Twitch partners have cheering. The rest of the Twitch partners can't get them. And this is something for now, and probably forever, is only for Twitch partners. My channel, because I am not a Twitch partner as of yet, and probably never will, does not support cheering. So, the real question is, they claim it shows support. How does it show support? Well, Twitch partners get a cut of the revenue of the bit. I actually had to go ahead and do some math because the split is very weird. For every $1.40 worth of bits that are cheered in a chat, the streamer gets $1. This roughly comes out to a 26-74 split. Now, third party developers such as Twitch alerts will allow for cheering. So more than likely you'll be able to see Twitch alerts for the cheering. You know what this basically is? It's just tipping. It's just donations. Now, the other weird thing is that the biggest thing that they originally announced, and it wasn't in that one, but the original announcement that I can't find anymore, said that it was originally came up as a way to cheer for someone you support in an esport. But the way they are showing this, the only person you'd support is the network that is streaming the esport. So let's say you like who's a big esport player. The only one that comes to mind is Seagull. Let's say Seagull. If you support Seagull and you cheer for him, Seagull not only doesn't even get a cent of the cheer of the bit. More than likely, Seagull won't even know you're cheering for them. Him or her. I'm not even sure the gender of esports player. I kind of stay out of the whole circuit. But I had to pay a little bit of attention to this because that's what this was marketed to. It was marketed towards variety streamers like me, or it's marketed towards esports. And this just comes off to me as yet another... It comes off as a method for Twitch to try and skim off the big name streamers. Because this is a much, much, much bigger cut that Twitch is taking compared to just straight up tipping the streamer through like PayPal, through Twitch alerts or anything like that. Now, everyone else is showing all the hate because right now, microtransactions like this are just absolutely hated. Underline, hated. Even just bringing up bits, the chat flooded with hate towards this. Honestly, this is nowhere near as bad as they're saying. Because of the fact that it is something you have to pay money for, it is something that's going to barely be seen in a Twitch stream. I even went and hung out in a couple of the streamers that are supporting bits. I think I saw a bit for half a second every 20 minutes. And this was in Brown Man's channel, who is a Twitch streamer that just rakes in tons of money through tips, which, that's their prerogative to tip that much, and props to them. But to see someone like that who rakes in, over $60 a tip, and maybe only seeing a 50 cent to a dollar bit very seldomly, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. It's not really going to be used all that much. And this is going to be something to pay close attention to down the road, because they are kind of implying there's going to be ways to get bits other than through direct money. And that could be very interesting to see how this evolves. So, we'll see what happens here. I just got the feeling that, yeah. Now, what really is much more odd that came out of Twitch today is the new playing category called social eating. So, what is social eating? It's streamers eating on stream. That's all it is. Who asked for this? Who seriously asked for this? For those who don't have any sort of knowledge when it comes to social perspective, in fact, this is actually a real big thing during the Republican primaries. I'm not going political, don't worry. Don't worry. This isn't a political point. But in the primaries, there was a point where what was his name? Kasich. John Kasich was giving an interview to one of the big news guys. I can't remember which one it was. But he was just eating like pizza with a fork and answering questions while eating. And all people could talk about was how unsophisticated he was and how just classless he was for not only A, eating pizza wrong, but B, eating at all while giving important news to a reporter. And if you haven't watched my game streams where I'm streaming for a long time and I actually have to go and like actually eat something because I haven't eaten something all day, you'll know that either A, I don't keep the camera on while eating, or B, I have it off to the side, like way over here, and just quickly get like little bites and just lean off camera like that to go do it. Because it's a terrible perspective. The fact that this is requested comes off really strange to me. Anyway, we've got like 60 seconds, so let's quickly cover the RX 480. It's a disappointment. It comes off lower end than they originally said it was going to. It comes off roughly about the same power as a 970, and it's actually less powerful than a 390. So it definitely says that there's going to be an RX 490. They're not copying the NVIDIA scheme. And we're going to have to talk more about this another time because we are definitely pushing up against the clock and we're running out of time very quickly. Here's the bottom line. First off, you can't get this card because it's completely sold out. It is nowhere to be seen right now. It doesn't exist. Right now, do not. If you're looking to buy a new graphic card, don't. The dust is still in the air. You can't get these cards anyway, and the prices for other cards are going to go down the tube. That's it, everyone. Take care. Stick around for the game streams. Rest well, everyone. Don't get a pre-built system yet either. Bad end. It's just the prices are way too high on all of it.